Just waiting for one more thing and then we're good. All right. What's up, everybody? It is your good old boy, JR, coming to you live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, I got my buddy here, Brandon from Houston, Texas. How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. How about you, man?
I'm good. I'm always good. I'm always happy. I'm always ready to rock and roll. Today, we got a good one. I know it was a Seahawks pick, but we got to talk about those pesky Broncos, man. And boy, did they have an off season. Did they have an off season for the ages, man?
Tell me about it.
But let's get to it. So here we go. The Denver Broncos. They ended up finishing the season 7-10, third best defense in all of the NFL. Not surprising. That's just how it goes up there. However, their offense, yet again, too inconsistent. 23rd overall, man. There was just nothing there. But before we get into it, let's just get into the last era, the last draft class of God. I already forgot his name. Whoever that, Vic Fangio of the Denver Broncos. It was that memorable for Denver fans. It was that memorable for Vic Fangio. And credit, some credit, some say, he never had a elite quarterback and everything. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. This new head coach said, "Oh, I don't have an elite quarterback. All right, I'll get one." So, just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. But here we go. So, again, sticking to Vic Fangio's roots, he got the best corner with pick number 9 last year, Patrick Surtain, the corner out of Alabama. If Micah Parsons did not have the season that he had, we're probably looking at this dude as the defensive rookie of the year. And I don't think that's even a far-stretched truth. 58 tackles, 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 14 pass deflections. Said it last year. He was everything you wanted a corner to be. There he is. The proof was in the pudding. The Denver Broncos made the right choice for taking Patrick Surtain at 9. That's it. That's pretty much it. There's nothing more to it, man. He was advertised to be the best man corner in college football. He was advertised to be the best man coverage corner in the draft process. And he was the best rookie cover man corner in this past season. So, yeah. You see how easy it is? It's like when you see, if it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, and talks like a duck, it's probably going to be good. Yeah. Yeah. Looking at you.
Here's the thing. Some people don't have the luxury of understanding what the hell a duck is. So
I highly doubt that Atlanta, Carolina,
hey,
I'm pretty sure they know what ducks are.
Listen. We just asked about 2 teams that literally don't have good general managers.
All right, that's fair. Oh, and John Elway is.
John Elway is a pretty decent general manager. You just can't pick goddamn quarterback to save his life, which is ridiculous because you used to be a quarterback. I have no idea how you cannot pick a quarterback when that was literally your goddamn job for all of your life. I have no idea how you can't pick a goddamn quarterback, but that's not my problem.
We'll get to it. But look at their second round pick, Javonte Williams, the running back out of North Carolina. There's nothing more to say to this man this dude should have been the starter, man. I get it. Splitting ribs between Melvin Gordon and him, I understand the concept, but at the same time, listen, man, this dude, 900 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. To go along with 43 receptions, 316 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
I just want to say, this is why Vic Fangio lost his goddamn job, because you're splitting time between 2 guys that clearly didn't need to split time. Like I said, when we talked about the Jets, Javon Williams was a part of the North Carolina backfield with Michael Carter. And they both were incredible. Both 1,000-yard rushers in the same damn team, on the same team in college.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to split time with Melvin Gordon. I have no idea how that happened. I have no clue.
Now, third round pick, they took a little bit of a gamble, but I think it'll pay off down the road. They went with the hero of the draft last year, Quinn Morenis, the guard out of Wisconsin, Whitewater. He's a backup, but I think down the road, I think they expect eventually expect him to start, especially if you're going to take him in the third round. You're kind of hoping that he does crack the starting lineup. Now they did have to wait until the fifth round to pick again, and they actually double dipped on safety. The first safety they took was Caden Stearns, the safety out of Texas with 28 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 5 pass deflections. And listen, he was your special team guy. He was never going to be anything crazy, especially when you have Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons as your starters. You're really not, you're just
Yeah.
looking for depth at this point. That's
Yeah.
all you're really looking for. Now, the next safety, a little bit of a character issue for me last year. And you'll remember him. Jamar Johnson, the safety out of Indiana. For the people that don't remember him, he was the guy that had those multiple ejections for punching the opposing team. I mean, I love the heart and I love the fight, but that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. And unfortunately, his season, I have to grade him as an incomplete because he never suited up once. Never suited up once. So.
Maybe they were just like, yeah, you're not going to punch anybody on this team.
Exactly. And you know what? I just have a feeling that, when you look at Jamar Johnson's tape from last year, the guy had all the talent in the world. He looked like a star safety. Problem was he was just too much of a hothead, and I think that's what kind of got him to not kind of knock down a couple rounds. And I think, some general managers felt the same way. It was just going to be character issues, and when was he going to blow up? And it just got to a point where, one, he didn't even, dress up a whole game. His whole rookie year, he was just chilling. Nothing you can do. Now, Seth Williams, the next pick in the 6th round, 1 reception, 34 yards, but he only played 2 games, and this is what I always say. You're not going to hit all the time. The only thing general managers hope for between rounds 5 through 7 is that they just find players that just can contribute to special teams right away. And when you only play 2 games, kind of bad. It's kind of a bad deal. And you only have 1 reception for 34 yards. Well, it's not good, my man. Not good. Now, the next pick, however, didn't even go their way. Kerry Vincent, the cornerback out of LSU, he fell all the way to the 7th. He didn't even make the final roster. He got cut, went to the Eagles, and only had 2 tackles the whole year. So, really, it was just one of those, I think that's where general managers and the scouting department feel even worse, is that they don't even make the team, and you got a pick that didn't even make it. Now, the next pick, however, 2 picks later, Jonathan Cooper, the defensive end out of Ohio State. You know what, man? Say what you want. 38 tackles, 3 sacks coming in for a rotational situational pass rush. He did his job as best as he could. And then your last pick, your last 7th rounder at 253, Marcus Spencer, the defensive end out of Mississippi State. He only played 1 game, and that was week 17. And he only had 1 tackle that whole game. It was just, he's so buried in the depth chart at that point, there's nothing you can really do about it. Now, that was the draft class. Now let's go into the season. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. People forget this team started off 3-0. I mean, they were competing with the Raiders at one point. They were both 3-0 at one point. And then somehow it just all fell apart again. It all fell apart again. And why? Because teams figured out their offensive scheme. And as good as the defense was last year, being, again, top 5 again. Top 5. Just inconsistent offensive plays. Teddy Bridgewater led the team in passing with 3,052 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Now, as good as Javonte Williams was last year, Melvin Gordon still led the team in rushing with 918 yards, 4 touchdowns, with 28 receptions for 213 yards. And Cortland Sutton was their best wide receiver with 776 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, the only negative I would say about this offense is, the only scary thing is, Denver Bronco fans have to pray. They got to pray that Russell Wilson can connect with Jerry Jeudy. Because Jerry Jeudy was so ineffective last year. 0 touchdowns last year. 0. And I think he will find it. I think people are looking at that and they're saying, well, you know what? No touchdowns. Is he really that good? Listen, Jerry Jeudy was top 5 in separations last year, in yard separations. He knows how to play the game. The problem is, it's the quarterbacks. Look who he's had to throw. Look who he's had at quarterback the last 2 years: Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to have a breakout year next year because I think people are expecting nothing out of him, and I think Russell Wilson's going to get the best out of him. He made Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf respectable NFL names.
And Doug Baldwin. I'm just saying.
And Doug Baldwin, exactly. All right. So, again, I think Russell Wilson will figure out a way. Now, when you go to the defensive side, I think the problem was, I think they just used way too many safeties. I think their defense was good. It was amazing, as you could tell, third overall. The problem is, it's eventually when the offense just keeps going 3-and-out, 3-and-out, the defensive line, linebackers, they just get tired.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get worn out. And it was evident because their leading tackler was a safety. You never want that in a defense. You never want your safety to be the leading tackle. That just means either they got pushed around and you got to hope that they were the last line of defense. He finished up with 88 tackles, 1 interception, 2 pass deflections, and a sack. Now, Justin Simmons led the team in interceptions, which is okay. When you have a defensive back leading your team in interceptions, it means they're doing their job. 5 interceptions, 12 pass deflections, 80 tackles. So not that too far off with Kareem Jackson. And then Shelby Harris was the team leading in sacks with 6 total. 2 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, and 49 tackles. But that's all going to change here in a minute. But before we get to that point, Brandon, give me your best. What is the best evaluation you got for the Denver Broncos? And we're going to get to him in a little bit, the new quarterback in town. Do you believe in this new coach that they hired?
Regular season wise, yeah. But this is the same damn offensive coordinator that just scored 10 points at home against the 49ers. So how much faith do I really have?
I think that's well. I mean, I would say that's fair, but the problem is, it's the weather conditions were pretty tough. But
well, if you're talking about weather conditions, I mean, do we not understand that Denver plays in a high altitude? We can't be screaming about weather conditions. You're not a head coach. Like, that's not gonna work. That doesn't fly. That does not fly. You can't say it's weather conditions that got me to 10 points. It's like, dude, you play in the highest altitude, and it snows, and it's going to be crazy conditions sometimes. If you score 10 points with that offense that you just wailed off, you need to be fired immediately. I don't care how especially in a playoff game. If you're at home, that's bad.
Against a West Coast team. I mean, sunny California.
That's like literally Denver playing Houston in Denver. So, and you lost. How is that possible?
It's a possibility, but the way I see it and the way I see this is, I think Nantucket, I think that's how you say his name, Nantucket.
Hackett.
Something like that.
Yeah, Matthew Hackett, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I think his objective was, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'll be the first one to say it. I think Aaron Rodgers was going to go to Denver. I had full blown belief in my heart that Aaron Rodgers was going to go to Denver, and it was just he was going to reunite with his old offensive coordinator, and I think that's what it was going to be. I think the problem is that Green Bay threw in an offer very last minute to where it was just too good to pass up, and they're like, all right, well, see you later. I'm going to stay, and I think that's what happened. Now, Green Bay's a whole nother story. We'll get to that later, but what they did do, and I'm going to bring it up right now, they brought in a quarterback, all right, and he's going to save John Elway's job again. Because that's how John Elway works. Oh, I'm about to get fired. He should have been fired 3 seasons ago. But Denver has so much loyalty to him that they'll never do it. So they're going to bring in an elite quarterback, and they're going to figure it out again, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. Well, they brought in Russell Wilson. And let me tell you how the trade went down. The Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks came up with a trade Denver is going to receive Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick in 2022. So this year's 4th-round pick. They get that. Seattle. This is what Seattle got in return. Their 1st-round pick this year, which is what the pick we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
A 1st in 2023, so next year. So Seattle has 2 first-rounders next year. They get the number 40th pick this year in this year's draft, number 40 this year. They also get a 2nd in 2023. So Seattle it has 2 1s, 2 2s. Okay. You think that would be it, right? No. Nope. Denver gave up more. They gave up a 5th-round pick this year's draft. And they also traded away Noah Fant, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris. Now, I don't know about you. I do not know about you. People always want to say, well, who do you think won the trade? Who do you think won the trade? Mike, what's going on, my man? Who do I think won the trade? Right now, if you were to tell me right now, who do I think won? Seattle. Seattle won the trade. Listen, Russell Wilson left the toughest division in football to go join the newest toughest division in football. Okay, understand, Seattle now, there's no expectations. That whole Legion of Boom era and, let Russ cook era and all that, the beast mode days, they are done. It's over.
Here's the thing. Russ is going to be in a division now with the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Justin Herbert. If Seattle can actually pick the right damn players, then yes, they want to trade. But if Russ doesn't win a championship and Seattle is still in kind of like a bad place by that time of this all is over, nobody want to trade, and we're just like, well, they all screwed up. Like, what the hell was the thought process?
Well, I think right now Denver
fans, it's kind of like how we feel about like yesterday, 2 days ago, like when we were talking about like how Chicago got rid of Khalil Mack, and it's like, who want to trade Khalil Mack because he got paid? That's the only way somebody wins a trade.
This is a different situation because now
that's what I'm saying.
One of these 2 teams has to come out on top,
and that's what I'm saying. So even if Seattle gets all these picks and all these, I think Noah Fant is the best player that they got out the entire trade because we actually have seen Noah Fant. Yeah, I don't know who the hell they're going to draft. I don't know what they're going to draft. And if they don't come up with something good, you're still in a bad place when it comes to this franchise.
And I think this is going to be the difference between the Mac and the Raiders and the Bear trade. Both of them got one franchise got picks. The other one's got a star-studded defensive player. None of them ended up winning a playoff game. So who won that one? Mac. Yep. I think this case is different because Russell Wilson knows, because Denver has put it out there. We've had top 5 defenses for the longest. We just need a quarterback to elevate this offense. Well, this is the quarterback they're going to go with. And for Seattle, it was rebuild time anyway. And we have more chances to become more successful than the Denver Broncos because we're the ones with all the draft capital. We're the ones with all that cap space coming up here in the next few seasons. And remember, the Rams, the Niners, and the Cardinals, they're only going to get older. So in the end, the way I see it, this is the way I see it. I think Seattle won the trade this time. But let's see how we go about it after in 2 years from now. We'll look at it and we'll be like, all right, this is what really happened. Because right now, for Denver, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
There is no get into the playoff. No. They went Super Bowl or bust.
They kind of put themselves in a Rams boat. Like the Rams last year. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like either you win this year or this was a complete and total disaster. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah. So we'll see. Now, as far as the Denver Broncos goes, they do have some new faces, but also some players are leaving. Teddy B is now going to be the backup to Tua in Miami. Dude, I will not be surprised if somewhere down the road, if Tua keeps struggling, Teddy B will take over.
So what? Okay, so what we're guessing this at? Like week 5, week
I
6.
would say week 10. I would say when
Oh, I wouldn't. I would actually. If he can't connect with Tariq Hill in like the first 3 games, it's like, dude, you cannot be the damn starter anymore.
I mean, I'm gonna give Tua one more shot. I still, you know what? I think Tua is actually good. I think they just have to keep building around him. And I think this is the year that Miami does it. I think this is the year that Miami just has to put it all together for him.
That sounds so nice. I don't believe that.
And we'll see.
I like your faith. I like your faith in Miami. I like your faith in Tua. See, you're a positive guy. See, this is nice. You're positive. I'm not. I do not see Tua connected with Tyreek Hill at all. I see Tyreek Hill getting very frustrated. Like I see the cheetah being
But
like, I
remember,
can't even
Tyreek
speed
Hill
out.
made this. Remember, Tyreek Hill made this decision to go to Miami. He made it.
He totally did. I don't think he thought Tua maybe could connect with him. I don't think Tua could connect 20 yards downfield.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Now, Deshaun Hamilton, he is now going to go to Houston. Nate Harrison is now the cornerback is going to go to Minnesota. And Austin Schlottman, the guard, is also going to be joining him in Minnesota as well. Now, the arrivals. I'm going to be honest with you. The Denver Broncos actually had a pretty good free agency. Minus Russell. If you take away minus Russell Wilson, their free agency is actually not that bad. Randy Gregory, he's going to be coming to Dallas. That's actually a nice pickup.
Really good pickup.
Especially now that Shelby Harris is gone. You got to replace that. And Randy Gregory is just as good.
And if Bradley Chubb is actually healthy, that's a hell of a one, too.
Exactly. DJ Jones, the defensive tackle out of San Francisco, he's going to be plugging up the middle now.
That's a good one.
Now, Kawan Williams, the underrated corner in San Francisco, is now going to be heading to Denver. So that's another cornerback that they got. Now, Billy Turner. Now, here's the thing about Billy Turner. He actually started his career in Denver and then went to Green Bay. And now he's back in Denver again. And he's going to be switched to guard. And I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's a good pickup. And now Alex Singleton. Very underrated linebacker, by the way, for Philadelphia. Very underrated. All right, he's actually good. He's actually good at plugging the runs. And he actually has some quick feet to get into pass coverage. I think that was a good pickup for the Denver Broncos, Alex Singleton. I like it. And you know what? It's a very low risk, high reward. Because if he does great, then hey, you could re-sign him. But if he does terrible, it's only on a 1-year deal and it's a veteran minimum anyway. So it is what it is. But I think Alex Singleton is a very nice pickup. That's going to be a name hopefully a lot of people get used to by the time the season rolls along. And I think Denver's defense only got better because of that. But today, it's not about the Denver Broncos. We're not going to talk about the Denver Broncos until possibly 2024.
Good God.
I mean, we'll talk about them.
I mean, our season will kick off and we have to talk about it. But other than that, I mean,
next year, mock draft, we'll talk about them wherever the Broncos end up, but it's still going to be Seattle's pick.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing the same episode, just going to be a different year. We'll see how our predictions work out a year from now.
We shall see.
All in all, this is Seattle. They have a lot. And we're going to talk about more in depth of Seattle tomorrow because the Jets are on the clock tomorrow. But it actually belonged
to Seattle.
It actually belonged to Seattle because Seattle made for whatever reason, they made the decision to say, we want Jamal Adams as our safety. You mean linebacker, right?
I'm assuming.
Because I don't know about safety anymore. Linebacker, maybe, but I don't know about safety. Anyway, it's all about Seattle today. And what are they going to do with this pick? And here's the thing about Seattle. When you look at the depth chart, when you look at everything, there's really not a wow factor in Seattle anymore. Tyler Lockett's nice. DK Metcalf's nice. But could this be a situation, Brandon, where quarterback at 9? Is Kenny Pickett available? He is. But do you trust them? Is Seattle that desperate to find a franchise quarterback right
now? No. Hell no. Is that an answer? Can I put that out there? Hell no.
Yes, hell no is always an answer.
No. Why would you listen? I'm tired of people trying to throw.
I'm going to put it like this: is quarterback an option for the Seattle Seahawks at night.
It's always an option. I mean, when you have no quarterback, it's always an option. The problem with that is you have nothing else around it. And that's where it kind of gets a little bit disturbing. Because it's like, if you put him in that offense, does he make your offense actually better right here, right now? No. That's the problem. That's why people say when you reach for something, it can actually turn out to be a disaster. And that's what you're going to do. If you get a quarterback at number 9, you're reaching. Mm-hmm. If you want to get back in the draft later on, like pick 26, like Green Bay did, trade the frig up and draft a Jordan Love when you know damn well he wasn't a good damn quarterback to get.
What's up, Uncle Pete?
But it's stupid to say, let's go get a quarterback just because we have no quarterback. Listen, just play Drew Lock. Let's see what he got. If not, hope and pray.
Can I jump in there for a second? Go. Tell me if you're a Raider fan. I know what Drew Lock's got. It ain't good. It's not good.
For what they are, listen, you can't go on record and say, we believe in Drew Lock and then drive a damn quarterback at number 9. There's no way in hell.
Yes, you can. You're not financially committed to him. I've seen him play in Denver. Brendan, this was the first time. Drew Lock has been with the Denver Broncos for 3 seasons. And every year, I always get worried, like, oh, man, Denver at the end? Might be kind of tough. And you know what's cool? And you know what was cool about what I'm going to miss about Drew Lock? I was always guaranteed a pick 6 whenever we played him. My defense actually looked really freaking good with Drew Lock as the opposing quarterback.
Listen, I am against this right now. I am not with the Drew Lock slander. I have not seen Drew Lock a lot in my lifetime, but
I have. I've seen him for 6
Listen,
games.
The only time I've literally seen Drew Lock is when he played LSU when he was with Missouri. That's the only time I've physically seen Drew Lock.
And I'm sure he looked amazing as a coach.
He looked great, and then he lost. So it didn't really matter.
He looked good. He probably looked good in college. But let me tell you what he looked like in Denver. He looked terrible. He looked like a John Elway quarterback again. He looked like a draftee of the John Elway quarterback.
But this is the thing. Like,
tall, but can't do shit.
This is what I'm saying. If you draft a quarterback at number 9 and they don't pan out, it still looks bad that you drafted a quarterback. Because this is literally like a couple years ago like a decade ago when you drafted Russell Wilson, when you just signed Matt Flynn to like 3 years. Like, it just made no sense. Like, let's see what you got. I know you probably saying, listen, Drew Lock sucks. Maybe just in Denver. Maybe with Denver, he just sucked. Maybe he needed.
Oh, yeah. Because our division, and I'm sorry to cut you off, because our defense in that division at that time was so great. Now he has to go to the Rams, the Cardinals, and the 49ers. Oh, yeah, he's going to do so much better, Brandon. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah. Drew Lock is going to revitalize this franchise. Oh, yeah.
Listen. I have no comeback.
Of course you don't.
I have no comeback. I have no comeback. He's going to get killed. He's going to get murdered. But would you want to do that to Drew Lock and not a goddamn rookie?
I mean, and here's the thing about, and this is what I don't like about what Fox Sports is doing, what ESPN is doing, and what CBS is trying to do. They're trying to push the narrative. Okay, you got to get quarterback. Well, why?
You are literally.
Why does Seattle need a quarterback? Because they have Tyler Lockett and they got DK Metcalf? That's not enough.
They got Tyler Lockett, Metcalf, and no O-line. That sounds amazing. Let's do that.
They don't need a quarterback. Listen,
you barely have a running back.
Now, here's the thing about Denver. Now, here's the thing about Seattle. Remember, they got a first rounder next year. Who's to say that Denver ends up being the worst team in the division and they actually get a good draft pick? And if they fall in love with somebody, they can move up. They have draft capital. This is the thing everybody wants to say, this is the 4 now. Like, what? You need to do this. Like, no. You don't need to do this now. Get your players now.
Here's the thing that I'm going to say right now, and we shall see in the year. Seattle's going to be bad this year. We kind of can see this. Mm-hmm. Denver might not be. But let's say in a year's time, DK Metcalf is like, trade me to the Jets. Let's say the Jets. Trade me to the Jets or the Giants. I know one of them are going to have a bad pick, but at least you're going to have a receiver. if they somehow some way can work a trade out and get DK Metcalf to New York, and they get that pick, you got 2 picks in the first round, probably the top 5. So you could probably draft a quarterback. And then you still got the Denver pick later on in the draft. So whatever you're looking for, you could literally – this literally could be Philly next year.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, I think this is what I want people to understand. Yes, quarterback I know is a big need for the Seattle Seahawks right now. But who's to say they don't take a flyer in the 3rd or 4th round? Just to see. Just to see.
Listen.
I know it's a waste of a pick, but you might as well try. My thing for the Seattle Seahawks is this. Let's say we know Seattle is going to look like a bad team this year. Not because they have a terrible roster now because of everybody that left and everybody that's gone. And we'll get into them tomorrow. But my thing is this for the Seattle Seahawks. Why not use, if you're going to have a bad pick next year, and let's say Denver does terrible. Whether Denver does terrible, good or not, don't you think that warrants enough to get you into the top 3 to get a quarterback? Top 4?
Listen, and I'm not saying I want to see this, but I'm gonna just say this. We act like Russell Wilson hasn't been hurt the last couple of years. Right. What if he goes down? Then Denver's kind of like, oh shit, what do we do? Because it can happen. We act like it can't. Injuries can happen.
Injuries happen, yes, and that's the thing. And now imagine this. Imagine if next year, and let's just play devil's advocate. Let's, God forbid Russell Wilson gets hurt again. That was a sad day in football. But let's say Russell Wilson does go down again. And now let's say Denver has no backup plan or whatever. And now imagine Denver picking in the top 10 again, and you have a top 10 pick. Don't you think that's enough for any team? Imagine if it's like, hey, Detroit, I know you ain't going to go quarterback. Let's just say if Jared Goff has a bounce back year, like, all right, I know you ain't gonna go quarterback. Hey, I'll get you 2 top 10 picks, and I'll move up to number 2.
This is how this goes. We've talked about it before. Jacksonville.
Oh, imagine Jacksonville. They get number 2 or something. Hey, Jacksonville, I know you ain't going quarterback. How about
and here's the thing. Jacksonville could still end up number 1 and trade to Seattle. It's just like, why not?
And that's all I'm saying is right now, I get it. Quarterback for everybody on ESPN and like the McShays and the Mel Kipers and the everybody else that's doing these mock drafts that are putting quarterback in for Seattle.
I don't like
Yes, I get it. Quarterback is a big need, but it's not for right now. Seattle is exactly what they're gonna say. They're gonna rebuild again.
I don't like it because it's not only are you saying they need to draft a quarterback. They're like, you need to draft Mac Wallace from
Malik Willis, yeah.
Malik Willis from no, you don't need to draft Malik Willis. Let Malik Willis fall to a good team. Let him fall to a good team.
Yeah, like I said,
let Malik Willis fall to a good team.
Seattle, I don't think is in a play for a quarterback this draft. Next draft, maybe. Because they got the draft capital. And they got the draft space. If everything works out this year for them, and they only need to fix a quarterback, might as well do it. Might as well do it. So, with all that being said,
why get a flyer quarterback when you could probably get Bryce Young? That makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. So at this point, and people are going to come in and they're going to be like, "Well, look at Arizona. They took Josh Rosen in the first round, and then they went Kyler Murray at number 1." Yeah, because you had no choice.
Yeah, Josh Rosen sucked that year. And by the way,
you had no choice. You had to.
Is Josh Rosen in the league?
He is. He is a practice squad player for the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, that's a different. See, that right there, boom, is the perfect example. That is it. That is it. It's like Kyler Murray was literally in the MVP conversation last year. If anybody wants to say, well, Arizona did it, is Kyler are you about to not take Kyler Murray over Josh Rosen? Is that what we're about to have a conversation about? like, if you have a chance to draft Bryce Young next year and you drafted Kenny Pickett this year, are you not?
I'm going Bryce Young. I'm going Bryce Young.
Not taking Bryce Young. This is what I'm trying to figure. Are you not taking Bryce Young?
And that's the thing, because then at that point, everybody's going to look at that pick. Everybody's going to look at the Kenny Pickett pick and be like, well, that was a waste of a pick. Well, no,
that was stupid. It was very stupid.
Well, no shit.
Here's the thing. A team is still going to need a quarterback next year.
I'm going to go different route. I'm already going to tell you right now. I'm going to go a different route than quarterback. I do not believe in the quarterback hype for Seattle. I think they're going to look for something to next year, or maybe there's a free agent that hits the market next year that Seattle can try to pry away from for a good price. So we'll see.
I do not see it. I do not see it.
We'll see. But this is right now. So, Brandon, with the 9th pick in the draft, what is the name of the card that Roger Goodell is going to read that beautiful, brisk April, spring nighttime?
Okay, in Vegas, April 28th.
28th. Mm-hmm.
The 9th pick in the 2022 draft for the Seattle Seahawks will be Jermaine Johnson, edge, defensive lineman, Florida State University. I think if you're going to build something, you better build your defense, because that's the only damn thing that might be positive. That offense is the offense is just shambles. Let it go. Figure it out next year. But for right now, you got Jamal Adams. Dude, play linebacker. That's what you are good at. Stay that damn way. Be that. We got Harris now here.
I already get it. I know there might be a Seahawk fan that's gonna watch this video and be like, he's a box safety. Yeah, that's another way of saying
he's linebacker. He's literally a linebacker. So I don't care. Listen, I've literally watched Jamal Adams since he was at LSU. I know what the hell the man is. So it's not like you're telling me anything different. You got Shelby Harris there. Go get an edge rusher. Go get somebody that you believe. And plus, I think that if you get him and you bring him into Seattle, there it is, Pete Carroll. You got at least a leader on your defense for at least another couple of years. He's going to learn from Jamal Adams. He's going to learn from those guys. So he's
Jermaine Johnson in the Seahawks uniform looks sick. But keep going. Keep going.
I think Jermaine Johnson in Seattle would just be a better fit. I think it fits him. I think that, like you said, why you took him for the Jets, I think Pete Carroll needs somebody that's kind of got a chip on his shoulder a little bit. So Thibodeau got drafted in front of me, the way I picked. Thibodeau got drafted in front of me. Trayvon Walker got drafted in front of me. Are you kidding me? I'm better than both of them. And I think that will set him off. And I think, I'm going to be honest, I think he might be rookie of the year rookie of the year next year. Because if he goes to Seattle, they really don't have a damn thing. You might as well go ahead and
just be the main front. He would be the main. And then if we were to look at it that way, if everything were to fall your place and Jermaine Johnson does go to Seattle, this would be the line. Shelby Harris will be the left defensive end. Poona Ford would be the first defensive tackle. Quentin Jefferson would be the nose tackle. And then Jermaine Johnson would now be the new right defensive end, which, by the way, looks good to me. I mean, you might as well try building that defensive line.
And then you think that Jamal Adams lurking around could get to the quarterback, because now you're gonna have to double team somebody.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I love me my Jermaine Johnson. Unfortunately for me,
you took him for it. You took him for
it. What? I mean, we're talking about 5. We're talking about 5 different slots. I mean, that's 5 slots difference. Okay, and you know what? I'm pretty sure you see the same value that I see Jermaine Johnson. Okay, dude, the value's there. Yeah. It's just, do the other teams see the same value? Mm-hmm. Now, at 4, you went Trayvon Walker, which is understandable. I get it. He came out of nowhere. All right, I kind of get it. Now, unfortunately, in my world, Jermaine Johnson's already gone.
Yes.
He went number 4 to the Jets, which Robert Saleo's probably doing backflips, yada, yada, yada. And at that point, you could not end up 32. You could not end up, if the Jets ended up drafting Jermaine, you could not end up 32 again. There's just no way. There's no way you can end up 32. With all the pieces that you're going to add, and you add him, you cannot be 32. There's just no way. But here's the funny thing. I'm going to go defensive lineman too with pick number 9. I'm just going to go interior. So here I go with the number 9th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Seattle Seahawks to select Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia. Yeah, that's right. My big dude. My big boy. You've seen that video. We've all seen that video. Damn, that boy thick. And that's exactly what he is. That's a big.
That's a
That's
really
a,
good pick.
that's a big dude.
That's a good pick.
That's a
That's
very big. You can't miss him.
he.
And trust me, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but if everything comes out, I mean, I'm glad they scratched the idea of doing the bungalow ride to the draft stage and everything because that homie's gonna need probably two because there's not enough. There's not enough for weight support on that one bungalow for that man to join in. That dude's probably gonna have to join two, and not to call him fat. It's just because he's a mammoth of a man. That's a big fucking dude. He's 6'6", 340 pounds. That's a big dude, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. That's a huge guy.
Yo, is it literally, he is, that's a clog the freaking lane up freaking defensive tackle. like if he can get there, you are not going anywhere. Like, I don't give a damn if you're Barry Sanders. You might get stuck.
Yo, do not run up the middle against this guy.
That's a bad situation.
And here's the thing. Seattle runs a 4-3, so you know he's going to plug up the guard and center, and everybody's just going to be built one-on-one. But let me get into Jordan Davis a little bit, okay? Other than his size, which was amazing, he was second team All-SEC, first team All-SEC in 2021, unanimous All-American in 2021. He won the Outland Trophy in 2021, which is the best defensive tackle in the nation. He also won the Chuck Bednarik Award, which goes to the best defensive lineman in the nation. He won that. And he's a college football champion, beating Alabama this year. And we all saw him doing the whole ring thing and everything. Now, he's a full-blown senior. This dude.
Did Aaron Donald steal that from him?
No, he stole that from Aaron Donald.
I don't know.
No, actually, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Stole that from Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis got it first. I'm like,
I'm like, wait a minute. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, you're probably. You know what? Can we have a fact check on this? Anybody watching this show?
No, it is because
fact check if who did this first.
Was it Jordan Davis did it?
Was that Aaron Donald?
Yeah, Jordan Davis did it because it was January, and Aaron Donald won his in February. It was literally a month ago.
You're right.
A month apart.
I didn't even notice that. All right, I just remember him doing this because he got. I mean, the first play. And listen, if it's any evident of what type of defensive tackle this man is, and people are going to look at his size 6'6", 340, it's like, he just must be a run stuffer. If people did not watch that first play in the championship game,
he hit Bryce Young hard as hell.
He hit Bryce Young he got through that line so fast. And Bryce Young looked like a child.
Bryce Young's like, who would do that?
Like,
what? Who would do that? He was so mad. He was so mad at the offensive line.
Bryce Young's only 6'3", and the dude's 6'6", 340. He's two Bryce Young's weight size, probably. I mean, the dude is like, dude. He got through that guard and center so fast, everybody was like, oh my God, he's going to kill him. My brother thought he was dead. My brother legitimately, and I wish my brother was on the show. We were watching the game together. My brother legitimately thought Bryce Young died.
Bryce Young got hit so hard. He was like, why would y'all let him do that to me?
It wasn't even the fact that it was Devontae. It wasn't Devalia Wyatt. It wasn't Trayvon Walker. It wasn't, Nadoku Dean. It was the biggest dude on the defense. The dude got through. And here's the thing that's evident about him is that, you look at him and you think he's a run stuffer. No, man. He's got pass rushing ability. Understand this. This dude is a senior. This dude did it the right way. This guy, a guy his size and his talent should not have been a senior. He should have came out as a junior, but he decided to come back, and it all worked out for him. Why? Because now he has an option of being a top 10 pick.
Bryce Young lost that ball so fast. I have never seen a person give up the ball.
Wouldn't you? I would like shit.
Bryce Young gave up that ball so fast. He was like, yo, y'all can have it. I'm good.
Like,
I don't need this in my life.
It was one of those things he just had, and he's just like, nah.
Want it? You can have it.
Nah.
I don't want it.
Nah, not happening, son. But we'll get to Bryce Young next year. Don't worry.
Oh,
now,
man.
As his freshman year, 2018, 25 tackles, 2 sacks. 2019, 18 tackles, 3 sacks. 2020, 16 tackles, 1 sack. This year, 32 tackles, 2 sacks. So what am I trying to say here? He's more than just a run stuffer. He can get after the quarterback. He
If you
does
don't
have pass rushing ability.
And if you don't
Now,
believe us, go ask Bryce Young.
yeah, go ask Bryce Young because listen. I understand that Trey Walker might be the better pass rusher. I understand that Devontae Wyatt, the guy who played alongside him, might be better at getting through the guard and center. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Jordan Davis is not better than both. Because
And Dean.
as far as I'm concerned, it could be a three-way tie.
Yeah, and Dean.
And Dean, an amazing edge coming off the edge as linebacker. I mean, listen, to me, I think it would have made sense for the Seattle Seahawks to get this guy. Because you already know he can stop the run. You already know he can get to the quarterback. And listen, I get it. When you pick 9, you expect him to start right away. He doesn't have to. Understand the two names. Understand the defensive tackles that the Seattle Seahawks have on that roster. Puna Ford, amazing veteran. Good veteran. Quentin Jefferson, great veteran. All right. Very great veteran. Al Woods, amazing veteran. If you bring in Jordan Davis, he's going to learn from all those 3 guys. How to be a pro, how to get yourself ready.
Okay.
And I know that you want him to start, but why not take him here when he does start? Because San Francisco's going to run the ball. And they're not going to run it up the gut, where you got killed at last year.
Okay. So
there was no team worse than Seattle getting run up the middle than the Seattle Seahawks. Okay. So why not take the man that's going to plug up the hole?
Okay, so this is the thing with that. They have veteran defensive tackles, like you just said. So he's gonna be a rotational piece as the number 9 pick in the draft.
It's a far reach, but
and that's what I'm saying. And that's why I feel like Jermaine Johnson is going to start immediately. Like he's going to start immediately. Like,
now,
there's nobody.
I could have gone Kayvon Thibodeau here, but I don't think he'll fit perfect with Seattle. I could have gone Trayvon Walker here because he's an edge dude. Why not? But my thing is this: Puna Ford, Quentin Jefferson, Al Woods. Remember what I just said? Veterans.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are only in a 1-year deal. Why not rest them up? Get his body in football, get his body ready for man football shape. So that way, when he is ready to go and be the full-time starter, he's really ready to rock and roll. That's just me, though. That's just me. Now, Jermaine Johnson at number 9, that'd be great, too.
I get why you picked him there because it makes sense because it's like you're building for the future. I'm thinking about the now. I think you need a pass rusher way more than you need a run stopper, in a sense. Like, I think if you're going to create – because I'm thinking, like, Jamal Adams is pretty much a goddamn linebacker. How are you going to get him as much help as you can? You got Shelby Harris on one side. You got Jermaine Johnson on another side. And Jamal Adams is running straight up the middle. There's no way in hell a quarterback is getting out of that. Wait, nobody's getting out of that. You could be literally Lamar Jackson. There's no way in hell you get out of that.
For me, it's just one of those things that they got killed in the run last year. Every Seattle Seahawks game I saw, they were getting killed in the run.
I agree.
And remember, Pittsburgh Steelers didn't even have that great of an offensive line. Najee Harris ran all over them. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, you know what? No more. You got to get the biggest dude in the draft, and you just got to plug him in where you can fit him in. And at that point, if you got to put 3 defensive tackles out there, you got to do it.
I don't see them get destroyed on defense anymore. Please, somebody come and help them.
And that's the thing. I think Jordan Davis would alleviate, getting the guard and center. And then that way it gives Shelby Harris, Jamal Adams, and LJ Collier a chance to, show what they got. And we're not going to sit here and forget that Jordan Brooks is not a good linebacker, the former first rounder that they got a few years ago, because he's pretty good.
He's pretty decent.
Good. Now Bobby Wagner's gone, so now he's the man. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not a good football player because he's shown that he is. It took time to develop, but I think he's there now. And for me, I think if you just get this guy today, if you get the guy at 9, at least you got 2 things you don't have to worry about. One, you don't have to worry about pressure on putting too much pressure on him to where you're asking for him to do a lot. And two, when all these other guys I just named head out the door, you don't have to worry about, oh man, who we're going to replace him with. You already got your guy. You already got your guy. So, because trust me, Shelby's not going to go anywhere. LJ Courier is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. But those other three, remember, they're getting up there in age.
Yeah.
You might as well start looking young when it's that time. So we'll see. We'll see. And then we'll see what the fans think. Is Jermaine Johnson the guy? Or is Jordan Davis the guy? We'll find out. But it looks like we both went to, at least we both agreed that the Seattle Seahawks both need to go O-line. So that's kind of where we're at. So we'll let the fans decide on this one. Let's see who was right. Let's see what happens. But other than that, that is going to do it for today's episode. Brandon, as always, it is awesome to always talk football with you. Mike, thank you so much for the comment. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Uncle P, Andres, and Fabi, thank you so much for tuning in on Instagram Live. And I want to thank everybody that is going to watch this video down the road somewhere. Tomorrow, the Jets, they're on the clock. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about Seattle as a whole, because today was Denver. Tomorrow is going to be all about Seattle. What are the Jets going to do with the 10th pick? Remember, this is their second pick. They already picked number 4. All right, they already picked number 4. He had Gardner. I had Jermaine Johnson. So now it's going to be interesting to see, what do the Jets do?
Oh.
Do we both stick defense? Do we go offense now? It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, and I cannot wait. But everybody, thank you for tuning in. The Jets are tomorrow, foreshadowing why I'm wearing green. Other than that, everybody have a wonderful night. Peace.